Hey everyone, today's easy recipe from Spring Creek Farm is going to be bone broth. And this is a really simple but well worth the time effort, I promise, okay? Today's bone broth is going to feature beef bones, but you can use turkey, pork, chicken, you name it, any bones. You can even use a combination, okay? So use the bones that you have. You can get a package of bones from the market. Matt gave me these that come in this package, okay? They are all ready to go of the beef bones. You can also use the bones that are left over from your cooking recipes. So if you're using the stewing hens, or you get a Thanksgiving turkey, let's say, or you have ribs from having pork ribs, etc., keep the bones and you can use this application. If you are just getting the packaged of bones, you know, some shin and knuckle, etc., from the freezer section at the market, what I did today was I roasted them for about 30 minutes first. I feel like having them slightly cooked gives it a bit of a deeper flavor, a slightly caramelized, just gives them a bit of a head start before we immerse them in water, just like they had been roasting for your recipes, okay? So that was the shortcut that I took just now before starting this with you, so that just so that you know what I just did prior. This is so simple because all you're gonna do is combine your bones. Now you're gonna break down your turkey carcass, or you're gonna take your stewing hens, etc. You're gonna put your bones either into an Instant Pot, which I'm using today, or a large stock pot. One that can cover all of the bones and our couple of veggies here in water, okay? Now the beauty of using the Instant Pot is that I don't have to keep my stove on, and I can feel comfortable coming and going throughout the day, not worrying about it, not leaving my stove on. But if you are going to be working from home, or you're home on a Sunday or whatnot, and you can simmer your pot for hours and hours on low, then go for it and just use your stovetop, and that is great. Okay, so what you can see here is that this is a knuckle. This is one of the best sources of collagen that we can use. The really weight-bearing joints of the bones are fantastic, and ones that have a ton of fibers in them. The wings of the turkey, for example, are great sources of collagen and the protein that we're going to be extracting from this bone broth. Bone broth is so good for our gut health. It's great for our immune system. It keeps us satiated because it's so packed with protein. Of course, because it's in with water, it's hydrating, right? It's really nourishing. It is just a fantastic way to not just sip, but to use as bases for our recipes, for our soups and our stews, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some carrots from the farm, toss them in there. I have a couple of celery sticks. You can break them up. You can toss those in. I have one bay leaf. You can also use a sprig of rosemary or two, maybe a little bit of thyme. But what I generally tell people is that I don't want you to stress about seasoning your bone broth as you're cooking it, because that's for the recipe afterwards, okay? It's not a big deal. We just want to go through some basics, like have a little bit of, onion and carrots are the two musts. And then beyond that, it's kind of your choice, because you're going to be discarding everything that's in here except for the broth. So we're going to be draining it out or straining it, or using a sieve, something to scoop out all of our solids and let our broth remain. I'm even putting my onion skins in, okay? That's how simple this recipe is, all right? The only other thing I'm gonna do is add a couple tablespoons of some apple cider vinegar. That helps us extract the nutrients, breaks down the bones that are in here. And then I'm just gonna fill the rest with filtered water, okay? Up to the maximum line of your Instant Pot, or to cover your bones in your pot about 1 inch or 2. And what you're going to do is, if you're going to be bringing your pot on the stove top to a boil, you're then going to be bringing it down and just simmering it long and slow with the lid on. You're going to be skimming off some of the foam that is generated on the top. Different bones produce, different bits. And then you are simply going to add water as needed as you go, okay? Now for this one, this is why I love filling this and letting it go, is that I'm simply going to put it on pressure cook for 3 hours. That's it. And then I'm gonna let it naturally do its slow release. See, I'll pick up here my lid and I'll show you. For my Instant Pot lovers, I'm going to seal my Instant Pot all the way. I'm going to set it to, let's see here. You can do a manual set, which I like, which is just pressure cook, normal. And then you do your button here, your up button all the way to 3 hours, okay? And then you're just gonna let it go so that you don't manually vent it. And for my Instant Pot users, you'll know what I mean. And for my pot simmerers, you can simmer your bones for anywhere from like 8 to 12 hours. Some people even put it in their slow cooker and do it for 24 hours. You almost can't do it enough, but you can do it not enough, okay? So that you can get some stock and some delicious broth, but you aren't breaking down the fibers and the collagen out of the bones, and that's what we're really looking for, okay? It takes a lot of heat, it takes a lot of time, and it just takes some patience, but as you can see, the recipe is super simple. It's something that you are gonna use and love. And then I store these quarts. I either use the broth right away. See, now I'm just gonna let it go. All right, high pressure, 3 hours, and away it goes. So you can either use it right away towards your soup, which is extra convenient here in either of your pots. You can just pull out, the bones and the extra pieces and make soup right away, or you can freeze this bone broth into containers, like quart containers in your freezer, and bring it out as you would like, little by little, okay? Now, if you are like me and you love eating some of the veggies that come out of here, like let's say this is packed with some carrots and celery and onions, feel free to do so. They are safe to eat. Some of the nutrients have gone, out of them, but it's great for little babies. If you have any little people at home who are baby-led weaning and who are learning to eat some solid foods, they will be very soft and very nutritious for them. So you can use every part of this recipe all together. As always, reach out to me if you have any questions. Happy bone broth making. Thank you to Matt for these delicious beef bones. And I'm excited to hear how you all experiment with different bones, okay? I even have a quart that is like liquid gold to me of turkey broth left over from November. I have got to use it, but it just shows that you can make this bone broth out of any one of the bones from the farm. All right, enjoy and let me know how you make out. Thanks again.